Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Outsole Brothers channel, and this is my performance review of the Puma TRC Blaze Court. So this shoe is going for 120 bucks. So pretty, like, it's on the cheaper side of things, you know, barely kind of like going into mid-tier pricing. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave in the link in the description box. But let's get it started off with the tracciones, and the traction pattern looks very aggressive. It's like a herringbone traction pattern kind of. But like the lines are going in a lot of different directions, right? Super thin lines, so if you're gonna play on an outdoor court, probably not the best option because the rubber is very, very soft. And like I said, the grooves are super thin, so yeah, probably not the best option. But if you're playing on a clean court, overall, it's a pretty solid option, but it wasn't anything amazing, right? And that was definitely the weak point of this shoe, the traction. And so it's weird, right? So when I was doing forward movements, right? You know, when I'm running down the court, doing pull-ups and stuff like that, the traction would slip out a little bit, you know? But doing lateral movements, I was good to go. You know, like crossover, step backs, kind of sometimes. I found myself sliding out a little bit on step backs because it's more like a 45-degree angle a little bit, you know, kind of, not really, but I did find myself sliding out a little bit. So yeah, the traction was very inconsistent for me, even on a clean court, which definitely did suck. As far as dust goes, dust also, it wasn't very good, right? It was weird because I would wipe, if I was playing on a dusty court, I was playing in different shoes like the Cosmic Unity 2, the KD15s, PG6, and those all had great bites, right? But then I would play in this shoe and it would slide around just a tiny bit. And then even if I would wipe, it would still not have a great bite, you know? So like, I don't know, like even if I did wipe, it just wasn't amazing, right? So on a dusty setting, it's just not great. So yeah, the traction was very not good, and I was pretty damn disappointed in it because honestly, I did like pretty much everything about this shoe. You know what I mean? So there is the traction there. Also, as you guys can see here in the middle of the outsole, there is a midfoot shank plate. It's just plastic right here, right? And it is exposed. And then the overall heel to toe transition also is pretty damn smooth, right? So here in the heel, a little bit of a curve shape here, but we do have a fully exposed Pro Foam Plus midsole, which I really like. And then here in the forefoot, we have a nice curve shape and a lot of forefoot flex. So overall heel to toe transition, especially when you're doing heel dominant strides down the court, is very, very smooth. But it's a super flexible midsole, right? So that's something that I did notice, right? So comparing it to the WOW 10, which I really like to play in, we do have this carbon fiber midfoot shank plate, right? Which gives like that springiness. It kind of like snaps back a little bit when I'm doing heel dominant strides on the court. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but the TRC Blaze Court is it doesn't have any springiness to it. It's just more like soft, right? So your foot is doing a little bit more of the work when you're doing heel dominant strides down the court. So it's not good or bad, like I said. It just depends on your preference. But now that I've played in like shoes like this, which have a lot of springiness, I kind of like prefer this a little bit more. All right, as far as the cushioning setup goes, the cushioning setup is actually pretty damn nice. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but you know, it did surprise me, right? So like I said, it is full length Pro Foam Plus. And yeah, there is pretty nice compression here in the heel, but also a very nice subtle bounce. You know, when you're doing heel dominant strides, I definitely felt it. Of course, it wasn't super bouncy or anything, but there is a nice subtle rebound back, which I did like. But also here in the forefoot, it gets absolutely dead, right? So the court feel is actually pretty damn good, especially here in the forefoot. But if you're doing hard impacts, it's not great, right? So if you're landing very hard on your forefoot, you're definitely gonna feel it, and it definitely does hurt. And the heel strikes, it's a little bit better because it does get thicker here in the heel, and there is a little bit of an offset, but for the most part, it's still pretty good court feel here in the heel, right? So you're gonna feel it a little bit, especially on harder impacts. But overall, I did like it. You know, it's soft, it's pretty damn comfortable, and responsive, and good court feel. So I definitely did like the cushioning setup, as far as like it felt very quick and also responsive. But I feel like impact protection could have been a little bit better. So if you're looking for impact protection, definitely this isn't the best option. But if you're looking for like a quick feeling responsive cushioning setup, then this is pretty damn nice. All right, moving on to the materials. So yeah, that's definitely where this shoe isn't the best, right? Besides the tractions. So the quality of the materials is very, very bad, but I guess you can't really complain for 120 bucks. You know, Nike does the same thing for some reason. Like this there's this synthetic suede, and in this colorway it gets super dirty. I don't know if it's coming out on camera, but there's a lot of scuff marks and it's dirty. I don't really like that. So yeah, this definitely does feel super cheap, and then the mesh material also doesn't feel the greatest, but on foot it doesn't feel that bad. You know, conforms to my foot pretty damn well. It's thin, it's comfortable. So yeah, on foot I had zero issues, but if you're looking for a material that feels a little bit better as far as the quality goes, then this definitely is not the best option. For the tongue also, we have there's a nice bit of padding, right? So it feels nice and comfortable on top of your foot. And also here in the ankle area we have nice padding, especially here in the back of the heel. So it feels pretty nice and cozy in the back of the shoe, and it feels overall like more on the minimal side here in the front of the shoe. So I did like the materials overall on foot. Alright, as far as the fit goes, I went true to size and it fits me very well, right? So lengthwise, my toes go pretty much right to the edge of the shoe. Also here in the toe box, it is more on the snug side of things. I can curl my toes up just a tiny bit, but it's not super snug like the Wild 10 or the KD15 or the Cosmic Unity 2, or what else is super narrow and snug? The Curry 9s, you know? So it's a little bit more relaxed as far as the toe box goes, but it's still more on the snug side of things. And as far as the width goes, I would say it's more on the normal width, maybe a touch wide. So the overall fit for me was very good. I really didn't have any huge issues with that. As far as the support and lockdown goes, so for lateral containment, I had zero issues, right? So I don't know why, because I guess this material is overall very supportive, right? There's a little bit of stitching and you have the suede, like the synthetic suede coming up as well, acting as a sidewall. Not a whole lot of the foam coming up, but this overall material, I guess, was supportive, so I didn't really have any issues with my foot coming out of the footbed here in the forefoot, here in the midfoot. Also, I really like this design. It's just a curved line, right? But it just looks so minimal, and like design looks awesome, right? So that definitely does help for as far as like lateral movements go. And there is an internal TPU heel counter, so lateral containment was good. And for lateral stability, as you guys can see, look at that. You know, this definitely just protrude out a good amount as far as the foam and outsole goes. So lateral stability was very good in the shoe as well. And my foot was locked down into the shoe, right? I didn't really have any heel slippage or anything. So support and lockdown, I had zero issues with. And also, I feel like even if you're a bigger dude, you should be fine. Alright, as far as the weight of the shoe goes, however, this shoe I feel like was pretty light if I remember correctly, right? So 11.32 ounces. Let's check the other pair. 11.5 ounces, so average like 11.4 ounces, right? That's super light, especially for Puma. So you know, Nitro Foam and Pro Foam is on the heavier side of things, but Pro Foam Plus I feel like is a very light density foam, and you can definitely tell by the weight of the shoe. And yeah, it feels light, but also this material is more like cozy and comfortable, which is very weird, you know, although it does feel like more minimal here in the toe box. In the back of the shoe, it's more on the cozier side of things, so I definitely did like that. But however, the traction just wasn't amazing, right? So I definitely didn't feel super quick when I was playing in it, especially comparing it to shoes that I absolutely love to play in, like the Wild 10, the PG6, KD15, Zoom Separate, all those other shoes. So that definitely did suck. I mean, if the traction was amazing, I would have liked the shoe so much more, and it would have been amazing, but the traction is not that nice, right? All right, as far as the ventilation goes, nope. As far as like the ventilation goes, like the airflow, there's really no airflow through this mesh material because there is an underlying material as well. And so yeah, it's a little bit on the warmer side of things as far as ventilation goes. As far as the aesthetics go, however, it's amazing. This shoe looks absolutely amazing. I love, I guess I also really like this colorway. I really like monotone shoes for some reason, but also the other colorways that came out, it's just like a super minimalist design, which I like, you know. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, yeah, I mean, I really like this shoe, but the traction. And of course, my number one thing in a basketball shoe is traction. And it's just sad to see. You know, the TRC Blaze Court could have been in my rotation. It could have been like a top maybe 10 shoe, you know, but it's not because of the traction. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention is I did get blisters for like the first couple of days when I was playing in this. So do be careful on that, just because I don't know why I don't get blisters ever. Just because I guess I play a good amount of basketball, you know, almost every single day. But then like for some reason I was playing this, I got really bad blisters, you know, where the ball of my foot is on both feet. So yeah, of course that's just probably my problem, but I guess be careful on that. But yeah, I mean, The traction was not good, so I didn't really enjoy playing it, and that's that. So I guess if traction isn't super important to you, then of course this is a pretty nice shoe. I did like the cushion, and the fit was great. The materials felt good on foot too, but if you're looking for any like good moderate traction, or like, of course, I don't know why you wouldn't want top tier traction, then do not get the TRC Blaze Court. And yeah, I'm probably not gonna play in this shoe like that much. So anyways, that about concludes my performance review of the Puma TRC Blaze Court. Again, if you guys want to cop, I'll try to leave a free link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.